Newly released documents from the CIA are shedding light on a series of shadow operations surrounding the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. A recent piece in Axios explains how the declassified records reveal a covert CIA operative had direct contact with Kennedy's assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald, in the months leading up to the president's death, and then later worked to mislead Congress about that connection.
With us now, the author of that piece, White House reporter for Axios, Mark Caputo. Mark, thanks so much for being with us. Fascinating. It appears that the CIA has lied for 62 years about this gentleman who ran an operation that came in contact with Oswald, and also the CIA lied about standing up a student group involved in anti-Castro activities. Tell us about it.
His name was George Joannides, and he's one of the more interesting characters to emerge later in the narrative of what we understand about the JFK assassination and the way in which the government hid documents and evidence and information about it. For years, he was unknown. Then in 1992, the movie Oliver Stone film JFK came out, created such an uproar that Congress, in a rare act of unanimity, passed the JFK Records Act requiring disclosure of all records from all agencies related to the JFK assassination by 2017. That got delayed by various reasons by two presidents, President Trump and President Biden, albeit information was slowly released, but not all the information. We're still waiting on all the information. And in 1998, this little piece of paper caught a researcher's eye. Jefferson Morley is his name. And he noticed that there was a person named Howard who appeared in these documents heading this student group called the Cuban Student Group, or known by its initials, its Spanish language initials, the DRE, based in Miami. However, they had operations in New Orleans. It was a bunch of Cuban exiles who were anti-Castro. And about 105 days before the assassination in Dallas in 1962, these Cuban students wound up in a confrontation in New Orleans with Lee Harvey Oswald. And then they wound up debating Lee Harvey Oswald on local television. Oswald then went to Mexico, then later on was accused of shooting President Kennedy. But after the assassination, immediately after, partly because of the work of the student group and the media attention, everyone knew Lee Harvey Oswald as a communist. And the question was, well, did the CIA have anything to do with the student group? And the CIA the entire time said, oh, no, we had nothing to do with this. We didn't know anything about it. Turns out they did. George Joannides, the Miami-based operative or officer who was the branch chief or assistant branch chief specializing in psychological warfare, I'm not making this up, was the guy who ran this group and went by the code name Howard. When then asked for years who Howard was, George Joannides had been appointed by the CIA to be a liaison with the House Investigative Committee 15 years after the assassination. And Joannides told all the investigators from the House Committee, I have no idea who Howard is. We have no record on him. Well, that's because Joannides himself was Howard. He was then given an award for helping obfuscate with Congress and lying to Congress about his involvement. The CIA also lied about that as well. And in 1991, he passed away. But as a result of that dogged work by Jefferson Morley, trying to unearth those files, we now know, as a result of Thursday's release, that Joannides was indeed Howard, and he did lead that group, and that's what the records show.
Mark, in terms of why these documents, though, were released on Thursday, could you connect this to the larger call for transparency that has certainly been ancient but is reinvigorated under the Trump administration, obviously?
It is. I can't say exactly why it was released on Thursday, but it was released late Thursday, and for months, or better said, for years, these documents had been pushed for by these JFK researchers. Incidentally, under the JFK Records Act, there's a kind of sort of a complicated process of getting a document or documents from an agency, having them go to a review board, and then having them go to the National Archives and then be released in what's called the JFK collection. The George Joannides files from the CIA was never supposed to initially been released under that structure. As a result, though, of President Trump's order to disclose everything, this was put on an accelerated time frame. Now, I can certainly understand, especially considering the CIA's past behavior, why people are suspicious that this was released so late on the July 4th weekend. And incidentally, speaking of transparency and records, we had another story in Axios that ran last night from my colleague Alex Eisenstadt, where the Department of Justice has, in the Epstein case, decided we're not going to release all of the records related to that. Oh, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. There is no client list. And that's that. I think if there's one thing we learned from the JFK case, it's probably a good idea in these instances to over-disclose. But the administration in this case has decided not to do that. However, in the JFK case, they are. And people who have been very critical of the CIA are saying at least John Ratcliffe, who's the head of the CIA, and Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, are making this serious, taking this seriously.
So the reporting from Axios is that the DOJ is saying there is no evidence that convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein kept a list of high-profile clients, and talk about the complication of that for the DOJ and for others. There's been so much disinformation surrounding client lists, apparently, and all these other things, that it's something that leaders in the FBI have obviously been trying to explain to the MAGA base, who don't appear to want to hear this.
Well, they don't. Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, and especially the deputy director, assistant director, Dan Bongino, he used to be a podcaster and was one of the large proponents of the idea that there's an Epstein list, this is a cover-up, this reaches to the highest level. Then he winds up being the number 2 guy at the FBI, and now he's like, oh, well, I've looked at the evidence, all of that's not true. So, of course, this branches 2 ways. Either Bongino has been corrupted by the very conspiracy that he claimed exists, or the conspiracy really didn't exist, and it turns out that doing your job as a sworn law enforcement officer in a government agency, that is, governing, is a lot harder than podcasting. And at a certain point, the facts matter. We don't have, obviously, all the access to all of the information, so we can't say. Certainly, Jeffrey Epstein, who was a person of great interest and was incarcerated in a federal lockup, having committed suicide when he was under suicide watch, is very suspicious. However, the FBI has released what it says are the 10 hours of video footage showing no one went into his cell. So from the evidence we have right now, it does look as if what DOJ is saying is the truth. But once again, we don't have all the records, and what we've seen in the JFK case is more transparency is probably better, not less.
White House reporter for Axios, Mark Caputo, thank you very much. His new piece is available to read online right now.